for the past few weeks, we've been talking about expectations. In the first video on the subject, we talked about parental expectations. How do you navigate moments where it feels like your parents are trying to live their failed dreams through you? How do you deal with situations where it feels like your parents are conflating the line between love and control? How do you respectfully communicate to them that you are your own person while acknowledging the love that is behind their actions? And then in the second video, we expanded the conversation into societal expectations. How do you navigate people from church, from school, from the community, from institutions around you that feel the need for some reason to tell you how to live your life, that feel the need to be entitled to offer you advice and prescriptions on how to live your life, how to navigate things. And the important thing that we said is if you do not learn how to navigate and deal with these relationships productively, you forever be confused and you forever be moving in one place, trying to be everything for everyone at the expense of the most important person, who is you. And in today's video, we're going to bring back the conversation back to you. Having talked about navigating parental expectations and societal expectations, let's talk about personal expectations. How do you develop expectations for yourself that then immunize you from everyone else's expectations of you? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Petronella Mnendra. I'm an author, I'm a consultant, I'm a speaker. My first book from Gawkwet Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream, is available on Amazon. Please do get a copy. If you're in Zimbabwe, you can get a copy from Innovate Bookshop, or you can get in touch and they can have a copy delivered to you anywhere in Zimbabwe. And I'm happy to also let you know that my second book, Dear African Child, 100 Love Letters from Me to You, is now complete and will be available very, very soon. I am so excited and I can't wait to share it with you. Let's get into our conversation of the day. We said you have to be productive and healthy and intentional in how you handle expectations from your parents and from the society. And we now want to have a conversation that focuses on you. How do you develop expectations for yourself? The reason why expectations for yourself are important is if you have clear expectations for yourself, is the same thing that we talked about last week. Clarity of who you are, clarity of what you stand for, that sort of blocks out everything else. That same thing applies to expectations. If you have clear expectations for yourself, no one can come with fresh expectations. If you already know what you intend to do with your life, if you already know where you intend to live, what you intend to be doing in the next 5 years, no one can come and offer an alternative. Usually people offer an alternative if they see a vacuum. And if they see that, oh, well, it looks like you're not focused enough, it looks like you're confused, and that sort of like legitimizes their need to just offer their opinions. So if you have personal expectations that you abide by, it sort of clears and blocks that path where people feel the need to just barge in, okay? And we're going to talk about a few things to think about when it comes to personal expectations. The first thing is the expectations that you have for yourself have to be grounded on your vision. You remember the conversation that we once had about vision, and I said your vision is your ultimate aim for your life. Who do you ultimately aim to be? And I said in simple terms, my vision is successful author, successful speaker, powerful entrepreneur, an amazing consultant. That is the ultimate vision of my life. That is where I ultimately see myself end up. And everything that I do builds to my vision. So for me to get there, I take that big vision and I break it down into smaller goals that I can achieve in days and weeks. So those smaller goals are what makes up part of the expectations that I have for myself. So let me use myself as an example in this one. my vision is to become an established author and an established consultant, is it? And so the goal for me is learn and develop skills to become a good consultant, learn and develop skills to become a good author. And so what are the expectations to get there? The expectations are, I read a book every day, I read on consultancy. I go to websites of some of the consulting firms that I absolutely adore. I learn their language. I see how they communicate to their clients. I learn. So I expect myself to learn something that helps me grow into the person that I need to be. So my expectations are tied to the goals, and those goals are my vision broken down into smaller achievable pieces. So the same process should apply for you. Have that clarity of who you want to be. Have that clarity of your vision of this is ultimately where I want to end up in life. And to get there, I need to break down this vision into small goals, and those small goals are what will make up fragmented and small pieces of expectations that you can tick off a box each day, each week, and each month. So your expectations have to be tied to a bigger vision, and that vision has to be clear. You remember the conversation that we once had when I said you need a clear vision. A clear vision, sort of, it's your vision for your life streamlines your physical vision. If you know what you want to be and you are single-mindedly focusing on that, you sort of remove a lot of things. Like, you know where to go and where to not go. You know what to read and what to not read. You know who to entertain and who to not entertain. You already know. So your expectations have to be tied to that bigger person that you need to be. And this sort of leads us secondly into the second thing that I want you to think about, which is personal expectations keep you grounded. Okay? So if you have expectations that in a single day, I have to read a book, I have to read the Bible, I have to learn something, I have to get my work done, I have to get my homework done or my assignment done or whatever. If you have expectations of what you are supposed to do in a day, you don't waste that day, because at the end of the day, you're going to look back and hold yourself accountable. Did I achieve what I set out to achieve this day? And if the answer is no, then tomorrow you will learn to do better and to be better. So expectations are important because they keep you grounded. They help you manage your time. If you don't have expectations for a day, if you don't have any plans for a day, that's when you will wake up and you will spend the whole day scrolling through social media. You will spend the whole day binging Netflix. You will spend the whole day doing all sorts of unproductive things because you have no expectations that are guiding your day. You have nothing that you are holding yourself accountable to at the end of that day. So when you wake up each day, be intentional to have expectations for yourself, because that way you will ground yourself, that way you will discipline yourself, that way you will hold yourself accountable. You will know that I am supposed to read a chapter a day, or I'm supposed to read 2 chapters of the Bible a day. And if you know that you're supposed to do that, even if you try to sleep, your mind will wake you up until you get that task complete. And the moment you start building that habit of completing tasks, your brain gets used to that and you develop the skill, and sooner or later it sort of translates to every aspect of your life. You complete tasks with ease and you find yourself being productive each and every single day. So have expectations, they will ground you. And the third thing that is closely linked to this is expectations ground you not only in your discipline of what you do for the day, but they also ground you in your discipline of dealing with the world and your parents. If you have clear expectations for yourself, if your parents come in and they try to make you do something else, you can sit them down and say, no, I cannot do that respectfully because I want to do this, I'm working towards it this way, and ultimately this is what I want to do. And they will back down because they will see that clearly you are in control of what you're doing. The same applies to societal expectations. If people come to you and they're telling you, do this, and then you're like, whoa, hold it right there. I actually have a plan. This is what I'm going to do. So your expectations, they will ground you as a person by teaching you discipline and showing up for yourself and holding yourself accountable, just as well as they will ground you in your personality and in your strength of saying no to people because you've already said yes to yourself. So if you have that clarity of purpose for yourself, it's the same thing we talked about last week. No one can waver you. No one can move you in any direction because you are grounded in what you know to be true about yourself. And the last thing that I want you to always remember is I listened to a lot of psychologists. I watch a lot of lectures on topics like that because I'm just a big old nerd, I will admit. I just love learning. And one psychologist that I listened to recently said something that was interesting. He said that there is a correlation, not necessarily causation, but a correlation between anxiety and aimlessness. So he says people who are aimless in life, they are more prone to being constantly anxious because the human mind is designed to be productive. So if you're constantly not being productive, and if you're constantly filling your mind with baggage, if you're constantly watching people on social media that make you feel ugly, that make you feel bad, that make you feel like you don't have it, if you're constantly exposing your mind to such things, you will consistently be anxious because you have nothing to quiet down your anxiety with. So if you're productive and if you have expectations for yourself and you feel the need to compare yourself with someone, or you feel the need to feel bad, you can always take a deep breath and be like, Petty, chill, you got this. You have your own path, you are walking it the best way you know. Chill, continue on that path. If you have those expectations and if you're working and being productive each day, you can ground yourself, and that can help you to slowly start working through your anxiety and other things. So it's not a diagnosis. I'm by no means a mental health professional. It's just something that I heard and that made sense to me, and I've just tried to communicate it to you in a way that I understood it. So expectations give you aims, they give you purpose, they give you a reason to keep going, and this sort of quiets you down and keeps you grounded. So this is the conclusion on the subject of expectations. Having managed your parents' expectations of you, having told society to stop, and having put boundaries against people's expectations of you, you then need to have the important conversation with the important person. Who is you about your expectations? Develop clear expectations for each day, for each week, for each month, based on your vision of the person that you want to be. Look at your vision, break it down into small goals. Those small goals, let them create expectations for days, for weeks, for months, and I promise you, you will be unstoppable. You will work into becoming the best version of you, the version that you like, the version that you respect, and the version that you're proud of. Okay? Do let me know what you think about this one in the comment section, and